everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Christine. I'm going to do my weekly wrap-up. The first book I read, and a small book haul. The first book I finished was Sixth Grave on the Edge by Doretta Jones, and it's, I also read, I can't remember if I had said that I read Glimmer, and there was another one. Two small short stories before this one. I think I did. The first I gave a 3-star, and the other one I gave a 4 because it was from Reyes's point of view. Anyways, this is just continuing this, epic saga of Charlie Davidson, the Grim Reaper, who is a PI, who is coming into more of her powers, sort of deal. She's learning more about herself and what she can do, and of course with Reyes and stuff like that. I can't really go into detail because it's book 6. So I loved it though. Loved it. What did I give it? 5? 4 over 5. I know it's up. I do have it up here, but anyways, this one I gave a 5, and I was laughing out loud so many times. My son kept asking me, "What are you reading? Can you, read it out loud? I want to hear about it." I'm like, "No, it's an adult content." But it's Undead and Unwed by Mary Janice Davidson. It's about a woman who just gets fired. Well, a week previously, she had gotten bitten by a bunch of people, mugged and bitten. And then a week later, she gets fired. Her cat gets outside. She goes after it and gets hit by a car and killed. She wakes up in the morgue with a really cheap suit on, cheap shoes on, and knew that her stepmother had given her cheap stuff. And she went back to her house and found all her shoes gone because she's an avid expensive shoe collector. And this is her name is Betsy Taylor. This is hilarious. I was laughing so much. It's funny. The sarcasm, the wit, the circumstances. It was funny. Very funny. And it's vampires, but they all think she's the queen vampire because she can go out in the sun, not get burned. Holy water can be thrown on her, won't do a thing. She wears a cross, doesn't do anything. So I would definitely continue with the series. And I had forgotten in the last video that I was reading the series of unfortunate events. We started the next book with my son. So we finished the Ersatz Elevator by Lemony Snicket, and this one is they end up with two people that they like what's in and what's not in, and pinstripe suits are in. These certain aqueous martinis are in, and it's elevators are out, so they can't use the elevator, and they live on like the 60th floor. Yeah, so he gave it a 5. I let him rate them. So we are currently, I forgot to bring it in, we are currently reading book 7, which is the Vile, I can't remember, the Vile City, something. Book 7, anyways. And then I finished Lethal Lover by Laura Gordon. I wasn't expecting to like this as much as I did. I mean, I love the intrigues. I love the mystery about them. But this one, it was so like James Bond. It was, I wouldn't say car chases, but speeding cars, explosions, a whole bunch of other, stuff like that. And he's a bounty hunter, and they had had a previous relationship, I think. Yeah, and he leaves. And her and her cousin are on this vacation, and they had just gotten there, and they were having martinis, and her cousin gets called away. That's what it was. There's Crime Boss in it, and Tess does not know her cousin used to be the bookkeeper for the Crime Boss, and so they're on this vacation in Grand Cayman under a assumed story, and her sister goes missing, so they have to try and find her sister, or cousin, not sister, cousin. So, and she had lost in her past, she was supposed to get married to him, and he walked out on wedding day, and 3 days later her parents and her sister were killed. So she's got nobody and doesn't know why he left. So it explains it later on. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I give it a 4 or 5. So I also finished A Touch of Persuasion by Janice Maynard. This is book 2 in the Men of Wolf Mountain, and it is he is still alpha male. The first one I had an issue with because he was severely alpha male. This is the brother, and 6 years ago he was in college under an assumed name in the UK. Meets up with this girl who's at college there, but not under an assumed name. They get together, have a whirlwind romance, and he is about to tell her who he really is, and he gets called away because his dad has had a heart attack, and he never contacts her again. And 6 years later, he sees a newspaper article about her and her 5-year-old daughter. And so he finds out that he's got a daughter, and so he confronts her, and they try and patch things up, so to speak. And there's also, her parents are very famous actors and actresses, or actor and actress, and they have a stalker. So, but there's one part in here, like I did give it a 4, but there's one part in here where something major happens to her. And right afterwards, she's like, okay, let's have sex. Like, no, no. So yeah, that kind of threw me off. And there was a couple instances of the alpha male, you'll do what I tell you, and yeah, no. So yeah, I only gave it a 4. But in this book is a short story by Brenda Jackson. So I'm reading that. And it is called A Touch of Passion, I believe. No, A Touch of Passion. That's what this is. A Lover's Touch by Brenda Jackson. And it's the 30th anniversary. So it's a bonus story. So it's just a little, like, there's 20 chapters in it, but they're only like a page or 2 long. So that's what I'm currently reading. What I will probably be picking up, obviously, is A Marine for Christmas by Beth Andrews, and Dad in Disguise by Kate Little, because I still need to read these for the Triple RC Challenge. I do have two things I'm working on to do for next year, because I'm not going to be doing this challenge, and I probably won't be doing the 52 books around the world in 52 books challenge, because I haven't really focused on that one at all. But I do have 2 things that I'm thinking of doing next year. So stay tuned for that, because I will probably be doing something in December, or I'll talk about it mid-December maybe, and it'll start January, but mid-December is when it actually starts. So that's one thing. And what was the other? There's 2 things. I'll remember it when I'm not on camera. But I went to the library, the Friends of the Library Books store yesterday, and I wasn't really seeing anything, because a lot of times they have like tons and tons of books, but they had a book sale a couple of weeks ago that I didn't get to because I didn't have cash. I have debit, but I didn't have cash. So I didn't get to buy any books then. And it's been a long time since I actually did a book haul. But I found this for $2, so I figured why not, because I've been wanting to read it. It is going to be one of the books next month, and I can bring the library book back, and it's going to be Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. It's a little beat up, but I mean, it was $2. So what can you do? And then I picked up, I was so happy to find this one, and it's book 3 in the Century trilogy, and I have books 1 and 2 in this format, and it's by Ken Follett. So The Edge of Eternity. So that was $2. I was so happy to see it. I was almost walking out, and I noticed it kind of in the corner. And then outside they have 2 racks of books for free. You can take, they don't charge you for anything. So I picked this up. The cover kind of drew me because it's nice and shiny. But it's kind of like, it's historical, but Chinese courts and stuff like that. So that draws me in. And it is The Magnificent Savages by Fred Mustard Stewart, and he's the best-selling author of Ellis Island. See, it's shiny. So there's that one. And this one, I couldn't believe I found it. I've been wanting to start his books. I'm not sure which one to start with, but I seen this and it was free. And I think this is the thickest book I own now, because it's 1,299 pages. And that is London by Edward Rutherford. So that's a nice chunker, and chunkers don't bother me. It's just to find time to read. So that is my weekly wrap up and a small book haul. Let me know what you guys are reading, if you've read any of these. So yeah, there's still trying to think of what that other one that I was going to do. Anyways, it'll come to me, but there are 2 things that I'm working on for next year. And it kind of goes by getting your guys' help. So, a little bit of interaction. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.